What does back to normal look like for you? For some, it could mean an increased risk of consuming drugs, partying, or trying drugs for the first time. Ensure your prescription medications are always stored safely and prevent substance misuse before it starts. Safe use, safe storage, safe disposal. To learn more, go to wnyprc.com. Western New York Prevention Resource Center, funded by SAM HSA Grant, TI081718. This medication safety campaign was created in collaboration with New York State Office of Addiction Services and Supports. It has been a year of change, uncertainty, confusion, and fear. If our changing world has taken a toll on your well-being, if you are suffering from addiction, if you feel alone, there is help available to you. G-CASA offers treatment, medication, and peer recovery support to people in Orleans and Genesee counties who are struggling with drug or alcohol addiction. The world is changing, but so can you. Go to gcasa.net to learn more. Funded by SAMHSA in partnership with Oasis.
For over 50 years, Value Home Centers has served the do-it-yourselfer. Value is conveniently located in your neighborhood, and each store has a hard-working and talented team ready to help you with your next project. Shop in-store or online today and let their experts help you find the products you need from the brands you trust. Whatever you're working on this year, Value is ready to help. Visit ValueHomeCenters.com to find a location near you.
Value for the do-it-yourselfer. In you.
Into our third hour, we've talked a lot of NFL, exclusively NFL. Big story this morning, Tim Tebow cut by Jacksonville. As if that's a big story. It's not a big story because literally everybody walking around on the planet except for two guys knew that was going to happen. Probably everybody walking around on the planet except for one guy knew that was going to happen. The genius who executed it in the first place, Herb. Even Tebow had to know that was not going to work. But he did the right thing. It's not on him. Why would he say no? Never mind that he absolutely did not deserve the opportunity. It'd be like me. If they came to me and said, hey, Rome, I know you've never played football before, and you're a 50-something-year-old guy, and you're really not that big, but would you like to play in the NFL? I'd say yes. We all would. So why would Tebow say no? I mean, he was about as deserving as I am, but I don't blame him at all. It's the guy who offered him the opportunity who's to blame. So we hit on that. I talked about Aaron Rodgers. I had Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Chase Edmonds just showed up huge. He had not been on the program in a couple of years. Great to run him down. That was big. And then I also talked briefly about gambling, which is still a topic. As an example, Rome, does the hair lady for the Jim Rome show bet? Steve from the Northwest. All right, so why is he asking that? I said because like half the staff does and half the staff doesn't. The XR4TI crew. I'm the host, the leader of this group. I do bet. I gamble. James Kelly does gamble. Rit does gamble. D-Dub, my long-term right-hand guy, does not gamble. Alvy gambles. Alvy plays fantasy. Or at least Alvy will gamble with your money. I don't know if he actually spends his own money. So, quote, does the hair lady for the Jim Rome show bet? Steve from the Northwest. First of all, she's not, quote, the hair lady. She's our stylist. And she has a name. Her name is Cindy. Does she gamble? I asked her. Her response is, quote, I like video poker, or I only bet with other people's money. LOL. I'm going to take that as a yes. So what I said to our new EP, Tommy D, I know you don't bet. I asked on the air, do you bet? He's like, nope. I'm like, well, start. You need to start gambling, yo. And why do I say that? Like, I don't want to spend money, and I know that you can't sell that to your wife, obviously, or you would gamble because it's fun. Why do I say start gambling? Because you want to fit in, man. You want to fit in with the group. Now, you might say, hey, Rome, but like, what if somebody says to your kid, hey, smoke this? You want to fit in. Peer pressure. Fair enough. I'm just saying, with this kid group and this group, you want to fit in, start gambling. I'm not saying it's a condition of your employment. I'm saying we will like and respect you more if you do. Start gambling. You want to fit in? Start gambling. You want to identify with me more? Start gambling. I'm not even saying drink this and you'll fit in more or smoke this. I'm just saying start gambling because it's a real thing. I mean, even, quote, the hair lady gambles.
Get down, do it now. Get any chopper.
Rick gambles. It's just, here's why you want to gamble. It's fun. Here's another reason why you want to gamble. It's becoming part of the vernacular of the show. As gambling becomes legalized in more and more states and more people are doing it, it's becoming more and more a thing, right? The leagues are involved. Fans are involved. People producing content are involved. You might want to jump on board. You might want to fit in. I'm not asking you to break any laws. I'm not asking you to do anything unethical or immoral. I'm telling you to start gambling. All right, so pick something tonight. Start where you're comfortable, bro. Talk soccer. Gamble on soccer if you want. That's what you know. That's what you do. See what else we have here. Jeff in Green Bay tweets, of course Rit gambles with his health. Hashtag beatus.
Diabetes.
Hey, Rome, we have phone calls that work. Signed Matt in L.A., Parody Larry, and Slow Rome. All on hold with Count Chalk. One of those guys is. I don't know if they all are. Like, when I have phone lines that are lit, but there's not a corresponding name on the call screen, that means they ain't getting on. That means Count Chalk hasn't figured out how to tell them yet they're not getting on. He won't even put their name up. All right, so this is going to hurt. Not me, but you. If you're on hold right now and your name is not Parody Larry, you didn't even get on the screen. And Parody Larry, who almost never gets on, got on the screen. How badly must you feel about yourself if you couldn't even get your name on the screen and he did? And I don't even know who you are. I just know that Chalk didn't put you up. All right, I'll play along. Rather than do my take on Cam v. Mac, clearly whatever Parody Larry has to drone on about and sing is going to be better than anything I have to say about the Pats, right? I always say that. Every decision that I make about what I say and what happens on this show is what's best for the show. If I think that you have something to bring to it that's better than what I have to bring to it, I don't have an ego about that. I'll go to you. And inevitably, Parody Larry, whatever stupid song he has, is going to be better than any take I have. Wouldn't we all agree on that?
Inevitable.
It's inevitable.
Inevitable.
So why don't we just find out the inevitable?
There you are.
We go to the phones. Now, Larry, I know you're listening. I know you're on hold. I know that you're going to want to give me some take on something before you get to your song. Don't do it. You're not good take or even horrible take, Larry. You're Parody Larry. If you want to say hello to me, fine. If you want to ask me how I'm doing, fine. Don't come up here and try and give me some take on something topical about Aaron Rodgers or Tim Tebow, man. Just get to the song. You're Parody Larry. You've been warned, dude. I've warned you this about you so many times. Literally years. I'm giving you an opportunity. Are you ready to do this? We go to Parody Larry. He's on line 4. Somehow he's getting on the air. There are 3 other dudes on hold right now who are not even on the call screen. How badly must they feel about themselves? Probably trying to blame it on the new guy. Lawrence, what's up?
Hey, Ron, thanks for the vine. So, look, you already got Grandpa Munster and Jarrett Ritt behind there, but this is to welcome your new EP. He's creepy and he's kooky, looks like a piece of dookie. Tom's hairline's so kind of spooky. He is Count Chocula, a face like a vampire. Seems like he's always wired. Amazing he was hired to the Romy family. Da-da-da-da, sweet. Da-da-da-da, neat. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da, a geek.
That's not a good call. No. You don't like that call. I don't like that call. Not a very good call.
Yeah, all that's true. It's not a good call. I don't like that call. Not a very good call. Bad connection. Typical parody Larry. So, Tom, why don't you throw those cans on real quick? So you're kind of settling into this, and I appreciate the fact that when I say, how's it going? This is not easy. Your response generally has been, it's going really well, but it's not easy. So when you hear a guy like that doing a parody about you as Count Chocula, what is your response?
I mean, I thought he was going to bring it a little bit more harshly than that. Especially when it started with the Addams Family. I was like, oh boy, where are we headed? But
what do you mean where are we headed? It was kind of weak. Is that what you said?
In every way. I also warned him like 3 times about his connection. And he claimed there was like a thing going on about how, I don't know, he can't hear the return when he has it on not on speaker. So he has to listen to me talking to him on speaker and then flip it, but he'd get it right for the air, and then he completely botched it.
Right. So that you thought that he was going to bring some real smoke and some heat, and he didn't, and then he didn't follow your directions.
When somebody calls up and say they want to serenade you, usually you say, okay, we'll see what you got, but I was not the right call.
Serenade you, dude. Why was he going to serenade you? He's parody Larry. He doesn't serenade anybody but himself. All right, so generally speaking, all right, what's your philosophy? Like, there's a show philosophy. We're looking for something to make the show better. But generally, what do you look? I want to give these guys a chance to get on the air, but they've got to get through you. You're the gatekeeper. So what are you looking for before you put them on the screen to get them up?
There has to be a point. It has to have a take. It shouldn't be bad, and it should be, like, funny. It should have some kind of intensity level. And it should sound, I don't know, a little bit more developed than just, I have a prediction for you about X, or I have this one-note opinion about Y. That's the kind of thing you hear on every other radio show. But here, we do a little bit more than that. It's got to be a little bit more of an elevated call. And even when I try to produce people up, they're still not really getting the hint. So you really got to bring something special to make it to the air. And we will put you on. You want to put callers on. I want to put callers on. But it's got to make it better.
They've got to play their way in. They have to earn their way on. I like what I'm hearing so far. So let me ask you this. No names mentioned because, well, they're not on the screen, so I can't mention them by name. But if you were willing to put Parody Larry's name on the screen, what were the others who did not get on the screen? What were they like?
Basically what I just said. One-note calls. I mean, not to be mean. I know they're still there, and they're going to call. They're going to call back, too.
I'm going to have to pick them up again.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. But, yeah, it's a little bit too one-note. Just come back on another day with a little bit more. I'm not going to, write your names down and say you can never get on.
What makes you think, okay, that's fair, but what makes you think that they'll come back another day with more if this is the way they showed up today? You have faith in humanity?
Not really. I don't have much faith.
Did you before you got here?
Yeah, I'm just saying that if they do, they will make it through, but I don't know that I have faith that that will happen.
All right, so you've been in this business a little while now, and you've been on some other shows before. Have you ever met anybody quite like that old man behind you?
Definitely not. I've never worked with nor met anybody like the man behind me.
Uh-huh. Is he making you better or worse?
I think he's making me better.
How? Name one way.
Because, he's unpredictable. He's just coming at you with...
Oh, no, he's predictable, all right. We know exactly what he's going to do always.
He's a classic...
Go ahead.
He's a classic wild card. I mean, maybe he's predictable in his unpredictability, but he's a classic wild card. He keeps me on my toes, and it's been part of the adjustment, has been adjusting to it.
Listen, dude, don't be throwing around your Ivy League diploma with me, even though that's what got you in the door to a certain extent. Don't be coming with your double negatives and your reverse psychology, man. Just shoot straight. There's nothing unpredictable about this guy, and there's nothing predictable in his unpredictability, man. He's an old man. He's bald. He eats sugar. This is not confusing.
I don't know how to best explain it.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm trying to help you with.
But you can't necessarily take everything with Rit at face value. That would be a mistake. So sometimes you kind of got to think a little bit further about what he's saying to you or what he's suggesting or what he's doing.
Give me an example. I take everything at face value with that guy. Give me one example of something that deserves to be taken at something other than face value. One thing that he has said that, hey, you know what? Maybe that's not what he meant.
It's more. I mean, we talk about some things like what are funny topics for the show, or what's good feedback from the audience. So we've talked about some things that Sometimes what
And
he suggests
I'm still waiting to hear one funny thing that you guys have come up with.
Exactly. Sometimes something he suggests as funny or interesting is, but not for the reason maybe he thinks it is.
Name one time Rit's been funny. Intentionally.
It's not Rit. It's when he's pointing out when other people are being funny.
Wow.
Freaking ridiculous.
He makes me laugh, though. I'll be honest.
Rit does make me laugh. He's not trying to, but he's funny in ways that he doesn't mean to be, for sure. All right, son, good talk. All right, so are you still happy to be here? And by the way, how are things going for you right about now? Generally, I don't mean during this conversation. I was
going to say, this is my low point so far right now.
No, this is actually going pretty well. You're doing better than I thought. How are things overall? Your transition to a new state, a new job, a new audience, a new seat, a new bald old guy behind you. How is your life? How you living?
It's outstanding. I mean, this is going to sound kind of hyperbolic, and sorry for another big word, but like this is kind of...
Stop doing that, dude. You're starting to act like you think you're better than all of us. Hyperbolic.
A little bit, just a little bit.
Hyperbolic? I feel like I need to be in a hyperbaric chamber just listening to you talk. Go ahead.
This is kind of like sports radio heaven, I got to say. I mean, this place is pretty great. This crew is pretty great. This show is pretty great. So, I mean, I can't really complain. And, you know, I know there's a lot being said about California these days, but if you've never been, you should try it. It's a gorgeous, amazing place. It's where I've always wanted to live. And now I'm here, so I got no complaints, Jim.
All right, so you tell me what you think I want to hear, or are you telling me what you truly believe? Because you know one of the first things I said to you was, I don't want any sycophants. There's a good word for you. Use it. Sycophant.
I don't think I've been sycophantic. Have I been sycophantic?
No, I'm just saying, I don't want you to tell me what you think I want to hear, but rather what I need to hear, and most of all, what is from the heart and what is true, and you believe everything you just said.
Yes. And also, do you really care if I love living in California? Like, I don't have to. That's not a requirement for the show.
No, but I'll tell you what I don't love is you saying you do if you don't.
Right. But that's not the case at all.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm loving life down here.
Good, man. Shoot me straight. Good job. All right. Don't be a sycophant. All right, so that guy's got a pretty good vocabulary, right? Still not as good as mine, because I'm a wordsmith. However, he's come as close to me as anybody in quite some time. And already, I'll tell you a guy who's taken offense to it. James Kelly. He just texted me hyperbolic. This is the exact text from James Kelly. Hyperbolic WTF chalk. This is how we communicate, Kelly and I. James Kelly is a different kind of smart. Certainly not in the way he expresses himself. We know this. Certainly not in the way he uses his words. We know this. But extremely street smart and...
Winthrop.
Well, that. He's a different kind of smart. James Kelly is like the opposite of educationally smart. Tommy B there is very well educated. Very well educated. I like that, man. I love the way he communicates via text. Hyperbolic. WTF, Chalk. Commander Chalk.
People love.
All right, it's a good conversation, man. That's not easy to do. Just stood in, brought us up to date, talked about the kind of caller that he's looking for versus what he's not looking for, talked about his life in California, his move to sports talk show heaven, Rit that he gets a kick out of for some reason. Hey, Rit, you got to hang in there, man. You just got to make it to October 14th. I don't mean as an employee. I mean as a human being above ground. All you have to do is make it to our birthday.
Bring it on.
And you will get to sit in this seat once again. Provided the Delta variant's under control and you're vaccinated. We'll see. Still ahead. So what are your thoughts on Chalk? Get yourself an EP, man. He very bright, very hardworking, has acclimated extremely well. This is not an easy job. Learning new clones, learning the culture of the program. You cannot force these things. They take time. So far, so good. Sucks for you, line 2 and line 3, whoever you are. However, and by the way, why are you still on hold after what we just talked about? I know you heard the whole conversation. The good thing about Chalk, he's not jaded. Not yet. They generally all become that way. Actually, that's not true. I take that back. That's not true. I really do retract that. Some never do. Some will turn. Some will become jaded. If anything, he's like the Giannis of EPs when it comes to you clones. He's too nice. He's going to have to get a little more of an edge to him to screen this thing out. But he will over time. When we come back, probably a shorter segment, and then golfer Abraham Answer is coming up at 11:40. I'll tell you something else going on this weekend. August 21st, Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, pay-per-view live from Vegas. Witness three-time Fighter of the Year and a BWAA Fighter of the Decade. Of course, I'm talking about Alvin's guy, Manny Pacquiao. He's taking on WBA welterweight world champion Yordenis Ugas. Buy it on the Fox Sports app. Then you can watch on any screen you want. These two fighters bring everything they've got as Ugas, an Olympic bronze medalist for Cuba, is going to step up and replace Spence and defend his title. Pacquiao looking to take back the title that he thinks was unjustly taken from him by the WBA. The Pac-Man seeking out another monumental win to add to his first ballot Hall of Fame resume. He puts it all on the line yet again as he looks to add to his impressive collection of belts. Do not miss this. Live on pay-per-view. Legend Manny Pacquiao, current welterweight world champion Yordenis Ugas, in a blockbuster title fight Saturday, August 21st, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, live on pay-per-view. Buy it right now on the Fox Sports app, and then watch on any screen you want.
You're listening to The Jim Rome Show.
If you're not getting the new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 3 5G or Z Flip 3 5G, you're doing it wrong. One unfolds to a tablet while the other folds to fit in the palm of your hand. Pre-order right now to get up to $200 in Samsung.com credit. It's valid through 8/26 while supplies last at select retailers. See additional terms and conditions at Samsung.com. I'm actually really looking forward to that product. I'm a big Samsung fan. All right, so quickly, I do want to talk about the 76ers and Joel Embiid. Enormous news. Ramona Shelburne reported early this morning that the team and Joel have agreed to a 4-year supermax extension worth $196 million. And to that, I can say one thing, and one thing only. Trust the process. Trust the freaking process.
Trust the process?
As Shelburne points out, the contract is fully guaranteed. It does not include the same provisions that protected the Sixers in the event of catastrophic injury in the previous deal that he signed. That, to me, is really interesting. Because for a while, remember, the rap on Joel was that he got hurt a lot, and that it happens with a lot of big men. And with a lot of big men, you have to worry about their legs, their backs, their feet. And you have to worry that they might not be there on a nightly basis. However, since 2017-18, the longest stretch of games that Joel has missed was 11 games this spring with a bone bruise. And he hasn't just been available, this guy's been damn good. The 4-year extension is going to keep him with the team until 2027. Good for them, good for him, good for the entire world. Because more Joe is always a good thing. And more Joe in Philly is the best thing. Remember, he said this back in 2019.
I was built for this city, and that was built for me. My reaction, the reaction and the love they have for me. I can't thank them enough. Like I said before, I really appreciate all the love. It's crazy. That type of reaction is probably the loudest I've ever heard them. And I heard the MVP chants from the locker room. So it's great. But that's what the city of Philadelphia is about. You got to come in here, you got to fight. You got to play hard. You got to be gritty. You got to be a broad straight bully. So that's what it's about. So we're going to keep on, fighting and, trying to accomplish the goal we have set for us.
Hell yes. Hearing that 2 years ago had to have Philly fans ready to eat a celebratory horse crap sundae. And hearing it now, it's got to feel just as good, right? Because this is Joel Embiid we're talking about. He's not just a four-time All-Star and the current MVP runner-up. He is an absolute content machine. He averaged nearly 29 and 11 last season, but he's also the league's best performer on social media still. There were those videos of him back in the day showing up to play tennis with random people, or him showing up to random runs in park courts around Philly. Then there's just him on his phone, whether he's going after John Collins or Karl Anthony Towns or pretty much anyone who shows up against him. He's going to bring it on social media. He's not called Troel Embiid for nothing. This is a guy who changed his Twitter name to Joel Do a 180 Embiid after this dope buzzed in on Jeopardy.
Joel Embiid in 2019 won the trademark for this nickname of his that also describes the 76ers' strategy of improving the team. Paul.
What is Do a 180?
Nope.
Nope, nerd.
Margaret or Mike? What is the process?
What is Do a 180?
Do a 180?
Nope.
This is also a guy who was dunking on DeAndre Ayton during the NBA draft. Complaining when people compared Ayton to him, he tweeted, quote, "Keep my name out of this, LOL."
Keep my name out your mouth.
He then chased that with, quote, "Don't compare Ayton to me either. I play defense." This is a guy who battles through pain and through illness to play. He's not afraid to talk about deeply personal subjects either in post-game pressers.
Man, if you've had whatever the name is, if you had the before, if you've had it before, you would know how it feels. But these are my guys, and want to show up every night, play hard. And tonight, I felt like that was a big game for us after game one.
My man. Or how about the time Joe was talking about the time that Terry Rozier tried to hit him?
He kind of kept the ball, and he kind of kept the ball away from me and tried to punch me twice. But too bad he's so short that he couldn't get to my face. I didn't understand why it was a double technical, because I was just trying to get the ball and he was the one trying to swing. But next play, I feel like those type of plays, you just kind of like boost your energy, and you just takes your game to another level. So I like getting into that type of stuff.
Then there was that legendary interview after he made his first All-Star game. Now, before I play it back, here's the backstory. In 2014, he tweeted, quote, "This is the truth. I was trying to get with this famous girl. And she said, come back when you're an All-Star, brah." Legend has it, quote, that famous girl was Rihanna. So when he was named to his first All-Star team, he was asked about that, and here's what he said.
Years ago, you were denied by a young woman who told you to come back when you were an All-Star. Is there anything you'd like to say to anybody on TNT right now?
I mean, she denied me back then, so why go with her again? So I have to pass that and move on to the next one.
You've got the mic. Anything you'd like to say?
Trust the process.
Trust the process. Trust the freaking process. Congrats on the new deal, big dog. You deserve it. Philly deserves it. Everybody deserves it. The world is a better place today because we know you'll be in that city, and you'll lead that city for years to come. Trust the process.
Trust the process.
It's great they got that deal done. Nope. Now Joel has to trust that they will get him the help that he needs. Namely, figure out their situation with Ben Simmons. Is he that other superstar running mate that they need, that he needs? Can he become that? Does he want to be that? Or can you flip him for somebody who can be that? Because make no mistake, I love Joel. Love Joel. He needs another star. As good as my guy is, and he is awesome. He proved it last season. He needs help. All superstars do. Good news is nobody knows this more than Daryl Morey. and his track record makes me believe that he will get this thing done. He has flipped dudes for superstars before. It says right here he can do it again. Trust the process. And I trust Daryl, too. That dude's proven. When we come back, PGA Tour golfer Abraham Ancer joins me. How about a sports update first? Welcome back. I'm Jim Rome. One last segment, and we are talking golf right now. If there's something you want to get to, I may have time on the back end. You can take a shot. More importantly, though, we are joined by a PGA Tour golfer, winner of the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational earlier this month. He was a two-time academic All-Big 12 player at Oklahoma. He was a member of the Mexico Olympic team, a member of the 2019 President's Cup team, 11th in World Golf Rankings, 6th in FedEx Cup points, number 6 in the Comcast Business Tour Top 10. A lot going on with him. Abraham Ancer is my guest. Abraham, great to have you on. How are you?
Wow, what an intro. Thank you so much for inviting me.
It's great to have you on. It's a really nice resume. You've gotten a lot done in a really short period of time. Lots that I want to talk to you about, but why don't we start with that win at the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational. When you were on the 10th hole on Sunday, you were 5 back of Harris English. What kind of thoughts were you having at that point?
Yeah, that was definitely a very strange back nine where at the time I thought I needed to go do something crazy to win the tournament or have a chance to win the tournament. And I made one birdie and then just all pars. Didn't do anything crazy like I felt like I needed to. I just didn't make any mistakes. And then I looked back and I saw that they were coming back instead of making more birdies. It was playing a little bit tricky. The wind, it was swirling and the pins were tugged, so it wasn't easy. But still, I thought I was going to be at least 3 or 4 strokes back going to 16, and then I looked back and I saw that I was tied for the lead, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Whoa, I need a birdie bad now." Coming in and didn't get a birdie coming in on those tough par fours coming in and made par, and then they told me I'm in a playoff. I was like, "What is going on?" I thought Harris was one ahead of me, and yeah, it was all it all happened very quickly. But I'm obviously very happy how it all ended up.
I'm like, man, what is going on? So, in fact, you were in a playoff. You were in a 3-man playoff, and then you go on to win it on the second hole. What was that moment like when you knew officially that you were the winner? Like, what kind of emotions went through you in that moment?
It took me a little while because me and Sam Burns basically had almost the same putt. I was just a little bit farther away. I make my putt, and obviously you're thinking he's going to make. You're going to be kind of mentally ready for that. And my caddy was already looking at the wind at number 11 where we're going to play the next playoff hole, and then we see the ball horseshoe out. I mean, he hit a good putt. It just happened to lip out, and I looked at him, and I mean, he told me that it looked like I saw a ghost. I didn't know how to react. So many emotions. I couldn't believe it. Obviously, I dreamed since I was a little kid to win on tour, and coming on a big event like that was very, very special, man.
Abraham Ancer is joining us. You know, I loved your honesty also afterwards when you said that there were moments where it crossed your mind that this might be another miss. And I bring this up because people around the tour have always said it's not a matter of if, but a matter of when with you. But you did admit that you were thinking, quote, the thought wanted to slip in my head a little bit. And I just said, hey, what are you doing? You worked your ass off to be here. This is the time that you're going to go and get it. You're going to make birdie. You're going to win this tournament. End of quote. I'm really curious about the thought process. How were you able to focus on that thought and push out the negativity?
Yeah, I mean, it's easy for negative thoughts to kind of get through your head, especially at those moments. But for some reason, I felt ready. I told myself that I've been here before. I've been close. It was just time to go and just do it. So I took a little bit of more of an aggressive line off the tee, challenging that water a little bit more. and hit a really good one. And then after that, I told Benji, my caddy, on the second shot, he's like, hey, we got a good number. I know I have a little iffy lie because the ball was above my feet, and the pin was close to the water on the left. But I was like, it's time to attack and put up a good picture of the shot I wanted to hit in my head, and it came out perfect, man. And I was really pumped. But for sure, it was bad thoughts are really easy for them to kind of think by, but I just kept telling myself, hey, this is not the time for you to finish second. I just felt ready. I felt really calm for some reason, and it all worked out.
I like it. It did work out. You also talked about growing up in Mexico and the fact that your father, Abraham Sr., did everything he could to make sure that you had a chance to succeed. He passed away in 2014, just before your career took off. Can you tell me, what was he like as a person, and then what kind of an impact did he have on your life?
Yeah, I mean, the only reason why I'm here is definitely because of him and my family. He's busted his butt to just make enough money to take me once a month to a tournament. So it definitely wasn't easy. Now that I know how much things cost to travel, all that, I was like, man, it had to be really, really stressful for him to just make the money to maybe not even spend money on him or family, but take me to a tournament. So now that I know all that, it really makes me really appreciate all he did and how much he sacrificed. And yeah, without him, there's no chance I would be standing right here where I'm at. And he was the funniest guy. I mean, he will have friends all over the place. Everywhere you go, he can talk to a wall. And he's just a really genuine guy. It was easy to get along with, easy to party with, easy to have a serious conversation. He was my best friend.
That is cool. Abraham Answer is joining us. You know, not easy for him, the family, the sacrifices they made. Not easy for you, as you point out. Nobody's ever made it to the tour from Reynosa. I mean, generally just not easy. In fact, you didn't have a lot of interest from big-time programs coming out of high school, and then you started out at Odessa Junior College. So, like, what was that time like?
Yeah, well, I mean, growing up in Mexico, I wasn't really informed of what would be the best way to get a scholarship, to be honest. I played some good events, but I didn't play any AJGA or anything like that. That's what the coaches really look at. And so I didn't have a good resume. Even if I could have played at D1 right away, nobody really knew about me. And I got very lucky. I played in I would think it was called a TJGT, like a junior event in somewhere in Texas. And one of the guys running it there, I won that tournament and just called Coach Chavez at Odessa and told him, hey, this kid has nowhere to go. He's a senior. You should maybe just look at him or whatever. And then, long story short, Chavez called me and he's like, hey, you want to come over here? We're one of the top programs in junior college. And you play good, you might be able to transfer to a D1 school. And I was like, sign me up. Went there, and I had a great time. Thankfully, I played really good golf that year and had a bunch of offers, but OU was the first one. And Coach Hibble and Coach Smart at the time just fell in love with the program. I love how they do things and just the character they're building there, and you can see how Coach Hibble has changed that program around completely now at OU. And I was one of the first guys he recruited, so I loved every decision of being at OU and at Odessa as well. I mean, I wouldn't change the path that I took for anything.
See, I was going to say, you mentioned the word path. I was going to say, what a journey. What an amazing journey that is. Before I let you go, I mentioned that you've gotten a lot done in a really short period of time. It was not just that you won earlier this month. You also competed in the Olympics. What was that experience like? Is there a way to put that into words?
That was something very different, and it was really, really cool. I had no idea what to expect. I was pumped to get there. The experience of being in the village with the best athletes in the world, it was really cool. I mean, I feel short on the PGA Tour, but there I was really short with all those athletes running around. But it was awesome. The golf course where we played was incredible and in great shape, and just playing for pure pride of representing your country and having a chance to win a medal, it was something very different, but it was something that I want to do as many times as I can.
You roomed with an equestrian competitor, which is really interesting to me. What was life like away from the course in the Olympics?
It was, yeah. So we get to the village, and they put you up just random, I guess, disciplines or sports in your country. So I got put up with 3 guys from the equestrian team in Mexico, and we ended up having friends in common, and we had a great time. We didn't really see each other that much because the golf course was pretty far away from there, so we were gone all day. And then when we were asleep, the guys were like practicing at night, so we didn't really get to hang out with them that much. But the little we hung around, we had a great time, and just trading stories and just knowing that we had a lot of friends in common was pretty cool.
Let me finally ask you then, 6th in the Comcast Business Tour, top 10, first PGA Tour win, a trip to the Olympics. Man, that's a lot to accomplish in a matter of a few weeks. How do you go about building on that?
Well, I just got to know you got to focus on this week. Obviously, you got the playoffs. These are some big-time events coming up. It was really cool to get that win. It came at the right time. Finishing obviously number 6 on the Comcast Business Tour top 10 was huge, and I'm so pumped about that. But now I gotta focus on this tournament and trying to do something crazy for the FedEx Cup.
So really quickly, I had Max Homa on the show recently. We talked about the playoffs and the playoffs versus the regular season. When the playoffs start, is that just another event, or do you approach them a little bit differently because, well, it's the playoffs?
No, I go at every event just thinking what's the best way to shoot the best score on this golf course, and I don't want to put any more pressure to myself on myself, and I just go about my business just as if I go to any event. So I don't like to change anything. I just got to figure out what I'm doing good and keep doing that, and what I'm not doing so good, I got to fix that and just go out and play.
Great story, great journey, and a great future. Abraham, great to have you on the show. Congrats on that win. Really nice to talk to you. Hope we can do it again soon.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate the invite.
Really appreciate you coming on. That was a great conversation. Abraham Answer joining us. What a good dude. Great win. And as I mentioned, a great story. For the ones who get it done, Grainger is offering supplies and solutions for every industry, backed by 24/7 support, free access to product specialists, and an experienced staff at over 250 local branches. You want to call or click Grainger.com or stop on by. Good day, good show. My thanks to Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Packers wide receiver, Chase Edmonds, Cardinals running back, Abraham Answer, PGA Tour golfer.
Good show, dude.
Count Chocula.
People love my...
There you go, Chalk. Start gambling, yo. I mean that. And that's not a suggestion. That's pretty much a mandate. Start gambling.
Yo.
When we are back tomorrow, there will not be a beef segment. I know a lot of you want that. That will be coming back at one point. But you don't need to have an official beef segment to officially beef. Ah, you see what I did there? See you tomorrow. Thanks for listening. We're out.
On Pod Save the World, we want to be your cheat sheet for global events. My name is Tommy Vitor, and each week, my co-host Ben Rhodes and I break down the biggest stories from around the world. Ben and I both worked on President Obama's national security staff, and we'll introduce you to the activists, politicians, and journalists who can help us understand what's going on around the world, what it means for the United States, and what it's like being inside the White House Situation Room during a crisis. Listen on Odyssey, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your pods.